Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this game we are going to look at the part 2 of Vienna Gambit. We have looked at first part, the Vienna Gambit accepted, and in this video we'll look at when someone declines the Vienna Gambit, and we'll look at the main lines of the game. So it starts with e4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, f4 and d5. So this is the Vienna Gambit setup. When it is declined, you can take the pawn, they will take with the knight, and the line that we are going to discuss in this video is queen to f3. There are other lines as well, which is d3 and knight f3 as well, but it's easier to play with queen here. So let's see what happens. So the knight has to move from this square because it is attacked by the knight and attacked by the queen, and it is only defended by a single pawn, so it has to move. And the most common move that we see is it takes the knight. So we can take the knight with this pawn or this pawn. I prefer taking with the b2 pawn. So after we take, black has a couple of options here. So the most common moves that are played are c5, knight c6, and bishop e7 and bishop e6. So these are the common moves that are played. Let's look at the first move, which is knight c6, which is by far the weakest move of all of these four moves. We'll see why. In this position, you want to push this pawn here so that we will have a strong wall of pawns which is defended, and the knight won't be able to take on these pawns because all of these are defended, right? So what black can do here, one of the common moves is to place the bishop on e7 square, and after this we can place our bishop on d3 square. So the idea is that we want to attack on the king side with bishop, the queen, and we can bring our knight into the game to attack on the king side, and black will try to castle here, and after which we will try to bring the knight out, preparing for the castle, and also we'll prepare for an attack on the king side. So after this, one of the most common moves that is played is pawn to f6 square, and we don't want to take with this pawn because otherwise we lose this wall that we have created here, and at the same time we will give an open file to their rook. Okay, so we don't want that. So what we'll do is we'll instead place our queen here, and they can try to defend with their pawn. So we will instead sacrifice our bishop here. They can take with the pawn, we will take with the queen, and we are giving a check, so the king has to move. So now what we can do is we can bring our knight here, and we can prepare our rook to come here and give checkmate to the king, right? Let's say we bring this here. So actually this is winning for us. Alright, now let's look at another possibilities. So instead of playing knight to c6, they can push their pawn to c5 square. So in this position, what you want to do is you can't play this move, because if they take with this, and if you take with this, they can bring their queen to this position and fork your king and the pawn, right? So you don't want this. So instead what we can do is we will play queen to g3, and this attacks this pawn and this defends our pawn at the same time. And in this position, the black can place knight to c6, trying to attack the square in the center and increasing pressure on the square in the center, and you can bring your knight to this position. The queen, when it moves from this square to g3, it essentially opens this square for the knight, and it defending this pawn, attacking this square, right? So now we are also increasing pressure on the central square. So now in this position, black can play bishop to e6, and we can play bishop to b5, pinning this knight to the king. Now the knight cannot take on this square, and this we are trying to weaken this square in the center. We can castle, we can try to attack on the king side. So this position is balanced. So this is the best thing that black can do when they are playing, and it's still a good position for white to defend. So yeah, this was about when they play the move c5. Okay.